Well, you know it's weird and different. You know it's not 1v1 tournament play when you see Ottomans willingly picked in a deciding game. One and all, welcome back to the competitive Age of Empires 4 action. We have got another game from the 2v2 $2,000 tournament Empire duels here. Bella and Wham on the Ottomans and HRE going up against Anatan and Nostromia on the Chinese and Malians. Something of a comfortable and cozy, quite effective, almost signature type pick for Anatan here. Meanwhile, Wham has decided to go back to the HRE for the second time this series. The Ottoman detail is quite surprising, though. And it's interesting the way it's being leveraged because, unfortunately for Bella, the spawns weren't desirable for the strategy here. They had to run across the entire other side of the map for this outpost rush spearman opening they've committed to. And it is a proper one, folks. We've got a Rax beginner for Bella. This is tough as well. In some ways, this bigger delay works better, right? Nostoromia had no way of knowing. By the time they see the outpost play come in, they've already committed all of the wood into the houses. Oh, that is wild. Meanwhile, the other two players are just vibing for a tech up. Imperial Academy's coming from Anatan. Wham going up with the Ark and Chapel. But at this point, I think Wham is more like Empress Sidious watching little Anakin over here. Like, yes, good, good. Outpost rushed them harder. Damn, that's pretty painful. There's a lot of value to take out from this house situation, right? Like, your opponent committed a lot of wood to this. This right here is 300 wood. Now, the gold is real nice, but only if you can keep it. I don't think they're going to be able to. Mansa Quarry is at least down the way. I think one thing I would say here is that you could probably target the Mansa instead of the house. A little bit surprising that Bella went houses instead, but... The reason it's surprising to me is, like, Nostromia has built so many houses, you're not going to get a pop block situation here, right? So for that reason, it feels like the mining camp is just a better target. Yeah, it's 3 times the health, but you've got an outpost coming up. You should be confident your opponent cannot stop you from taking that down. Take out completely the other... Anatan, what the this guy. 31 sheep. Bella has 11. Nostromia has 13. Wham has 6. Oh, no. Oh, how does it always happen to Wham? Oh, my God. I mean, we're a few minutes in, right? So you would have gathered a few extra sheep, but this is absurd, dude. Bella feels so bad. She's dropping off additional sheep for him. Yeah, I think, I don't know, like, maybe it's one of those confirmational things where because we think about it so much, we always think it's Wham, but, like, I do feel as if I see an imbalanced amount of games where Wham has no sheep in 1v1s and 2v2s. Anatan is just the sheep whisperer, though. This is insane. 30 sheep plus. Pit mine finally being targeted down. Like that she ID'd this, right? It just makes so much more sense. Funnily enough, by the way, once you're H2, you can start burning down everything much easier. Minaret Redresser is now on the way for that purpose. Remember, you don't need to get Veterancy to get more torch damage. Torch damage as a stat is actually attached to the age. So it goes up to 14 when you get Feudal. Actually, was it 14 or 12? I think it's 12. I think it's 12 for Feudal, 16 for Castle, and 20 for Imperial. We'll find out in a sec. Meanwhile, Stormy's like, your base looks safer than mine. Can I borrow? Thanks. Oh, man. That's quite the trek. I mean, you'll at least be safe down here, in theory. As long as, you know, the H3 player doesn't try to castle... Like, oh, wait. No, okay, he's castle rushing. So, the problem with this play now is, like, no one's on the map. There is absolutely no blocker to Wham, because Anatan is trying to mirror a tech up. Scouts do see this, right? Like, the outpost being built is a dead giveaway now. E-repairs is coming off cooldown, so this attack on the mining camp isn't going to lead to anything either. It's quite hilarious to see both of the east side players teching at the same time. One finally going for Feudal, the other just going for Castle. So Nostromo at least doesn't have to worry about a pop lock here. They have plenty of houses behind this. That will be fine. And here you go, guys. Confirmation, 10 damage, 13. Was it? Wait, so it's 10, 13, 16, 20 then? That's so weird. That's so weird. Much range now being built as a reaction, but I don't know, man. I feel you're more than content with what you've done here with your Bella. You got your value out of this play, and now you could even just distract, right? Like, it's all about how you enable and, oh, how you disable. Nostromia moving out to wall off the relic she knows Wham is rushing for. That's sick. So we've got 3 being blocked off already. There's still 3 accessible, though, so you need to do better. I think if Wham gets 3 relics at least, he's content. And the first one is already on lock. Keep in mind also, because Bella has Spearman nearby, it should be very difficult to block these relics over here. In fact, it looks like Wham is going to be able to immediately pick up 2 and run him home. Yeah, not a good sign right now. Tech Up did the complete for Anatan, and you might be wondering why did he go Imperial Palace. Clock Tower just kind of sucks in team games. Or to be more specific, Clock Tower just really sucks in team games on Prairie. And there's nowhere to hide. There's too much distance to cover. It just wouldn't make much sense. So this is 100% the correct call coming out from them. And now what this means is that they can see what their opponent is up to. Right? They can just press one button and see in the mid game when Wham and Bella are playing out on the map, because they will have to. There's not much resource at home outside of gold and stone on Prairie. Wood is limited. Food is limited. Mainly because Anatan took all the sheep. But it is limited, and it means that you are going to be able to find easy targets on the flank. So what's the counter to your villagers always being seen and potentially being attacked? Have so many villages that you crash your opponent's PC. I think that's what Wham is looking for here, right? Adding in a few knights, but ultimately we know how this H3 dance goes. It's about rushing Imperial. In fact, you can kind of already see that in the way he's macroing. The only problem I can see in this game is, like, how do you get there with such limited food? He has at least got the Arc and the berries, so that helps out somewhat. Lancer Raid's coming in as a problem, though, and a big one at that. I actually think Wham was trying to be greedy. Oh my god, the timing on this, though. Wham. He's in trouble, right? This is a lot of idle time, a lot of pain. And remember, Anatan, because he got 30 sheep, he can just keep sending like this if he wants to. In fact, I believe we have more and more Lancers now on the way. Bella is reacting with the spears. So that should give him the breathing room here to survive that. Much needed at that. In the meantime, Nostromia starting to add in more of these ranches. Still has quite a way to go before castle is feasible, though. So what's Bella's role now? I almost feel like she basically existed to do an outpost rush. Because now you're like Ottomans heading to mid-game. I don't think you want to build Sipahi against Malian Chinese. That feels really bad. I guess, like, eventually... No, I was going to say, like, Janissaries... I guess this is insurance that the game goes hyper late, right? So this is like the I get up and then I pull you up. And what I mean by that is, like, Wham goes for the late game with Imperial and Rush because Bella protects him. And then afterwards, he can help protect Bella to get her into that late game where, you know, Ottomans are pretty insane. That being said, Prairie is a different kind of beast. And I feel like Ottomans and Chinese, as you head to that late game, you're thinking about these more defensive formats. It's not easy to defend. And that actually, funnily enough, might give an edge to the Chinese because, remember, they've got Palace Guard that zoom. For that reason, Wham and Bella need to play fast. Nostromia, in the meantime, is ready for the tech up. Fulani now commit to only 2 ranches complete so far, though. Wham has invested everything into this age. Up to 8 knights now. Lancer count for Anatan should be feeling a little bit better. Yeah, 12 to the 9. He needs that right now. These relics cannot be allowed to go the way of the H3 player. Meanwhile, Anatan, because he's so zealous on this approach with Lancer, he actually hasn't gone for the relics himself. So no Monk drop coming in from the Chinese. Kind of has me worried right now because, like, Anatan is at least staving off Wham's timing, but he's not getting his own now, right? Like, Sure, Imperial Academy, you've got all these Imperial officials, they help out a lot. Arkan is kind of limited value on this one because you don't get to buff wood and gold. You had to choose gold plus food, but as you start to add in these farms, it becomes a real HRE game again. I think this is trending towards Wham and Bella. I mentioned the Palace Guard idea, but it's so late in the game that that comes into the picture. I don't know if the time being is at least still blocking these relics. However, there is a growing threat heading towards his base now. If Bella reads this correctly and just sends it into Anatan's base, he actually doesn't have an answer against mass spears. Remember, he went for Imperial Palace. He does not have any fallback plan of spear plus clock tower nest of bees. Oh, that's wild. I think she realizes it too. Spearmen are getting ever closer. The Lancers have to react in force. Anatan pretty much using half his army here to defend. The rest basically defending green. Strongman who's gradually getting online with these ranches. Just remembering to fill them in now. So 2/3 of the way there now. The Arkan really is getting beefed up. Wham, now up to, what, 12 farms? Relics are still being contested. It looks like he's got another one that's potentially be in the way home, so that can bring him up to 4. Others are still wrapped up nicely and protected. Buff to prelates is a big deal. Yeah. It lets you buff 9 villages now. It used to be 7. It's a huge deal. Especially in the ultra early game, just the efficiency in Dark Age is kind of wild. But it also means that HRE is better at playing pocket economies now. Wow, I'm a little bit of long gathering going on there. That's one way to keep the Arkan Chapel buff, I guess. Lancer numbers not looking that great anymore, guys. The gap's been closed. Wham is about to take the lead in night count. The difference is, although Anatan had this sick timing with an insane amount of sheep, it's gone. He's down to 1 sheep left over. He's gathering on berries. He doesn't have a granary transition coming. He's out on the boar and the deer. If he starts to slip on the map control here at all, this is over. Oh, we actually have more relics over here. So wait, is this a 5 relic game? Yeah, it's going to be 5 relics. So, a pretty ludicrous 800 passive gold for the HRE. How can one man eat so many sheep so quickly? You've clearly never been to a kebab shop after a night out on the town with the lads. Those things disappear. Last time I was in a kebab shop was with like Kiljadi, Dumu, and Voldemar, and you know, Dimu starts sinking his teeth into one, and I swear I heard a vacuum cleaner noise switch on. I looked away for a second, looked back, the thing was gone. It's weird, right? Like, economically, Nostromo and Anatan are pretty far ahead. But I think that's very deceptive in this game, even when you add in things like the ranch. I can't believe Wham is trying to wall this. I think Bella wants trade. She loves trade, right? Was she one of the players going trade? No, the one that kept going trade so far today was Rabbit Sweet. I don't know if Bella leans trade too hard, too fast, but I mean, it's a pretty good thing for Ottomans late game, right? With the trade bags. Bella needs to find a way to not be a liability, and she's trying right now. Castle Age is about to be on the way. Wham has drawn fire towards him. In the meantime, he's trying to dive into the base of the Malians as well. And we talked about this, the passing the baton, right? I get to be greedy, now you get to be greedy. It's what we're seeing here again. Outpost has drawn quite a lot of ire here. Finally be able to chase away those spears. I mean, this was so worth though, right? Like even the aftermath of it dying is like you forfeit and everything. Your opponent spends 500 resources to deal with that directly with the Rams. Rams that you can't really now attack an HRE player with. That's just gonna. I don't see that ending well. We also have mangoes coming. Now that is intriguing, considering your opponent has massed donzos, not javelins. I don't think Ryan misread that. He saw that it was mass Donzos, but I guess his thought process here is choke point defense. Mango's good. We have got some outposts on the way, so sprint replacement should be coming in. I wonder if really the play here would have been a switch into Rax. It looks like both moving players might be about to suffer. Bella is on the march. Blocker immediately on the front food here. Anatan kind of in a sticky situation, right? The deer and the boar are about to exhaust. After that, he has to play into the mid-map to get any food. And he needs food bad. He's in the night spam territory as well, right? But look at the difference that's now opening up. The next minute, it's going to be over 10 nights difference between Anatan and Wham. 5 Rams. Wham is going to get value though, right? Mangonel able to get a maximum wallop on the Rams there. Dive is now coming in though, and Wham needs to react fast to this. The problem is, it's mass spears, and you've got mass knights. Starts to dive in on the ranged units. Mango is going to get targeted. The dive continues. Repair crews coming over to try and assist. Lots of follow-ups on the way, though. It's about to turn into a Wham sandwich. Pulls away at the very last second. However, there are problems in Wham Town here. The Mango barely staying alive at this point. And finally, relief is on the way. Bella's marching north, but is it too late? Mango is at least still alive. Villagers now have the front line here, but the Lancers just fixated, as are the Donzos. Siege dead. Villagers now falling. And Bella maybe a little bit too late to the birthday party. I think this is over. Eco lead as it is, military situation as it's developing. I don't think Bella's got enough punch behind this to reset the game. Wham! Now down to just 5 knights. All of a sudden, Anatan with a 10+ military lead there. And the mass of Donzos is not slowing down. What a timing attack. Regnitz is also about to flop dead. Villagers in desperation mode, trying to keep it up. But against 4 Rams, there's no hope. This is over. Whew. Good thing the winning player's in green, because this one is Ogre. TC now being attacked. E-Repair's about to come off cooldown, but it just doesn't matter at this stage. Wham has nothing to defend with. Bella cannot get there quick enough with an infantry comp. Anatan is just distracting her away from it. What a win. What a series out of these two teams. And what a way to round it out. Wham, twice in this series, played old school greedy HRE, and twice in this series, it caused him pain. Admittedly, not as directly responsible in this one. It was more of a delayed timing, but super sick to see all the same. Damn. You know, for a moment I thought maybe Ottomans were cooking, but I guess in hindsight now when you think about it, like, would Mongols have, for example, been better for this? Maybe the thought process from Bella was that, you know, Ottomans is less predictable than Mongols, and that's why they thought it'd be more impactful here. But it feels like a hard civ to find impact at this stage in the game, and we saw why, right? Malians just ramp up so quickly in Castle Age. Chinese mirror what the HRE are doing. At the end of the day, the Ottomans are kind of this question mark on how they arrive at this power point. I feel like I'd require a whole presentation, a whole sales pitch to convince me of their value in Castle in these GV2s. GG gets killed. Nostromia and Anatan win the series.